All right, welcome back. Now, you see the screen. I'm already getting bothered by what's going on right now with these journalists, with the media. I wanted to speak for myself. Okay, I just want to take the safe route and just say I'm speaking for myself. But I am a dog culture critic. We have our own circles. We have similar and identical views on certain things. We are a social group. And I'm just a member of it who voices my opinions. We all use the keyboard and leave written opinions. I include I speak. And I've been speaking for a long time, for years. I think I've been on YouTube for around 8 years with these channels, at least with this narrative, not on YouTube. In the dog culture critic spaces. And I don't know if any of you have noticed, there's some things that only I've talked about or brought up, mentioned, introduced into the dog culture critic circles. And I believe that there have been many media outlets that have tried to respond to the arguments that I've made. They've attempted to respond, refute. Some of them, they don't even try to refute it. They just put out contrary or, material. But they don't direct it towards me personally. But I know y'all out there listening. And a big part of what you publish is things that I have talked about. One of those things is the argument against oxytocin. I first talked about that years ago. That video, I think, has a lot of, well, not a lot, but tens of thousands of views. And I've talked about the oxytocin myth. That's the title of the video. Talked about that for years. And many of these writers, they've come across a lot of my material. I know y'all have. But you still insist on trying to push your lies. And I take offense to that because it's like, okay, you just want to continue to lie in the face of new evidence? I don't understand that. I'm not going to try to. I'm going to just point out that you're lying, that you're pushing misinformation for, money, basically. Clicks and views, and you don't care about the consequences, which is sick, in my opinion. Now, I also addressed the tweet that shared this article. Earth.com, I think it is. Earth.com also published this story. Insane. It was published a few days ago. Matter of fact, I want y'all to look at something. A few days ago. How many of y'all have seen this? A few days ago, multiple media outlets published this article, this narrative, this talking point, that youngsters get a rush of oxytocin when they interact with dogs. Here recently, I've been talking about their agenda to pair young people with dogs. Those 13 and under, all the way down to 0, make up over 50% of all dog attack victims. And as a result, they also lead in hospital visits. They are more likely to sustain severe injuries. They're more likely to be attacked from the shoulders up. Whereas adults are more likely to be attacked on the shin and our limbs. So they not only absorb the majority of attacks, they take the worst injuries. They are the recipients of the most brutal injuries. And y'all want to use science to try to encourage them linking up together? That whole idea is sick to me. Look at your screen right now. This happened 2-3 days ago. Look, 2 days ago. Puppy love. Playing with dogs leads to a surge in oxytocin for youngsters. MSN. Playing with dogs leads to a surge in oxytocin for youngsters. Instagram. That is earth.com. Earth.com posted it on Instagram and their Twitter 7 hours ago on both platforms. Mars.com. Breakthrough research. Youngsters' oxytocin level. Vet surgeon. Role of oxytocin. The National Institute of Health. Now, all you media outlets and journalists, y'all supposed to take the general public for a joke, but you shouldn't take what we say for a joke. You should definitely not target the arguments I've made against this nonsense. Y'all seriously want to continue to put out material to make this argument in the face of what I've said, the material, the work I put together? Shame on you. Like old dirty bastard. Shame on you. And I'm going to make y'all pay for this. I'm going to make y'all pay for this on this live stream. And I believe that y'all shared this story in response to my recent attacks against these therapy dogs being ushered into these schools. I believe that triggered all of them. And they're all in cahoots with each other and now putting out en masse this fraudulent study. Fraudulent. Okay, y'all want to play? Let's play. Y'all want to go? Even the Daily Mail published it. Y'all want to go? Let's go. Now, I pointed out one particular writer because her article was the first one I found, and it's the most ridiculous. And it was published today. This one right here. And she is so proud of this nonsense that she included, well, the media outlet, and this is on earth.com. Shame on you. Included her photo and her whole and what is a science writer? Does that make you a scientist? Is that what that is? I'm genuinely curious. I never heard that. Science writer? Okay. I'm going to assume that you're some type of science student, I guess. Or you're just a writer hired by earth.com and you regurgitate, you say whatever they want you to say. Eh? Fine. Here's the title. Youngsters get a rush of oxytocin by playing with dogs. I'm not going to go over all that babble. We all know what oxytocin is, mood boosting hormone. But to make it clear, and okay, most of you seen the video, they have not really figured out this hormone, this oxytocin. And it's triggered by several things aside from, love. And it's really inappropriate and incorrect to refer to it as a love hormone because it gets triggered in situations sort of like with food. Will trigger it for dogs. We're going to go over that too because these nutters have tried to pull out everything to argue that this is valid. And I've been trying to warn people. This is a huge part of their conditioning process of trying to condition the entire population to be nutters. And it's extremely important we talk about it. If you go to my channel and type in oxytocin, that video will pop up. Here it is right here. But it doesn't have tens of thousands. It has a little over 10,000. And I first put it out 5 years ago. 5 years ago. But look at this article. This is difficult. It's difficult to read. Oxytocin levels in dogs and children. Okay. The research focused on 55 youngsters between 8 and 10. Over a series of visits, the young participants played with their pet dogs, an unfamiliar dog, and also had a solo play session. Throughout these engagements, the research team measured oxytocin levels in both the youngsters and the dogs through saliva samples. Through saliva samples. Quote, to our knowledge, this study provides the first evidence for an effect of affiliative social interactions with dogs on oxytocin concentrations in youngsters. Listen to this. This is sick. And they're using this information to justify hauling them into these schools. So being a nutter basically is becoming a part of the curriculum. It's no different from it's a nutter class with actually physical interaction with the dog. Look at it that way. It's like you got math class to learn about math. This is nutter class, where they not only learn to be a nutter, they actually act it out physically with the dog there. But the scariest part about this is the fact that they're the #1 victims of dog attacks, percentage-wise, and sustain the worst injuries. Easier to delete and all that. This is sick stuff. And listen, this stuff co-signed by doctors, said Dr. whatever his name is. Both familiar and unfamiliar dog interaction led to an oxytocin boost in youngsters. I don't believe you. Let me say that to the scientists. I challenge every one of you scientists who say this. You're lying. And I'm not going to waste time testing nobody's saliva. It's easy to lie that way. You understand? And that's why y'all use, let's test the saliva. Let's be scientific and deep. When you're just a bunch of nerds, dishonest liars. oh, saliva, scientifically we proved it. Shut up. I tell you what you do. Test their blood pressure. I bet y'all won't do that. In none of your little experiments. Bet you won't do that. What's the resting heart rate? Between 60 and 100 beats, right? What is it when you're nervous? Fight or flight. It goes over 100 beats, right? Test their blood pressure. Y'all not that desperate to prove that this is scientifically true, are you? Let's do something simple that can't be refuted. Let's see their blood pressure decrease when you bring an unfamiliar dog in the room. Let's see it. If it does, then boom. Even if it stays the same. But I guarantee you, you walk a dog into a room full of youngsters, everybody's blood pressure gonna go up. Even when you tell them to go pet it, it's gonna go up. Do that. Walk in with a dog. Test their blood pressure before a dog gets in there, right? While the youngster's resting. Because they're usually, generally resting in class or sitting down listening. And then, without their knowledge, bring a dog, hey, say, come pet it, and then test their blood pressure then. I guarantee you, each one of them, and adult, don't matter which one of you, your blood pressure is going to be higher. Get out of here. This is fake science, people. That's all we need to know. Now the next subject. Dogs benefit from youngsters as well. Really? Oh, that's why they attack youngsters more than they attack any other age demographic. Really? Okay. I mean, on its face, really don't even got to get deep into this stuff and what they're saying and challenge each point. I don't respect what you're saying or your arguments enough to go over each of your sentences. I'm telling you now. And if you want to debate each one of your sentences, we could do that. But this is an insult for us to even honor your opinion because we know you're just a liar. Tell me dogs benefit from being petted on and hugged. And people, it gets worse. My goodness, it gets worse. Let's continue. Oh, the dog increases oxytocin as well. Do y'all know what though? They're trying to claim that dogs, after they interact with youngsters, have increased oxytocin levels. But do you know what else? They said that was not true when it came to unfamiliar dogs. Do you know why? Y'all see that where I highlighted it? It says, but this wasn't seen in unfamiliar dogs. Look at this. Exhibited a surge in their salivary oxytocin levels, but this was not seen in so when the dog did not know the youngster, their oxytocin didn't increase. Why do you think it increased only with someone the dog was familiar with? Because you're a food dispenser. Just like I argued in the original video. I believe they revealed the same thing then as well. That there's, no oxytocin boost in the dog that's unfamiliar with the person they interact with. That because it interprets you, everybody in your house, as a food dispenser. Not rocket science. Y'all just a bunch of liars. Building better communication skills. Now this is kind of offensive. They're trying to say that youngsters interacting with dogs increases those young people's interacting skills, social skills with human beings. Ridiculous. And they're only basing it on the fact that when nutters get together, they got their dogs with them, that'll lead to a conversation about the dogs. Of course it will. See, look right here. Additionally, dogs can serve as a bridge to social interaction, often drawing youngsters into conversations with other pet owners or enthusiasts, thereby expanding their social circles and fortifying their confidence and expressing them. Shut up. They can talk about a brick wall. And youngsters quite often do. They talk about anything. The floor, a wall, a rock. Look at that. Ha ha, look at it. It looks like this. Stop it. A bunch of pathetic, childish lies. Y'all sound like children yourselves, you so-called scientists. Pathetic. And it burns me up that people respect people who say stuff like that. Oh, I'm a scientist, blah, blah, blah. You say this and people are in awe. Ooh, I never thought of that. No, it's an idiot. A deceptive lying idiot who basically specializes in lying and making stuff up. That's a large part of what their so-called scientists do, especially when it comes to dogs. People need to understand that. When it comes to these dogs, scientists, and all this old behaviorists, they specialize in lying. This nonverbal communication can then translate into more effective interpersonal skills when interacting with human beings. How's it supposed to help you? Interacting with something that can't speak, don't understand what you're saying, not receptive to what you're saying. How's that supposed to help you interact with people? Just because they're actually talking to the dog, the action of talking gets them into the habit of talking, or let them talk to people. There you go. You don't need no dumb dog, especially seeing these things attack them more than anything else. When you're talking about youngsters being attacked inside the home, which happens a lot, tens of thousands of times every day, it's a dog. It's a dumb, worthless dog. Don't offer a dog as an option. Get out of here. This is your science. Earth.com, y'all so pathetic. And it does not enhance communication skills between them and other people. It diminishes it. They start to respond for the dog. And they'll carry that same dominating attitude when they interact with people, not considering what those people think or have to say. Being a talker and not a listener. No, don't help you talking to a dumb mutt. To talk to other people. Broader implications of the research. Implications of these findings extend beyond individual well-being and social skills, potentially influencing educational and therapeutic settings. Huh? No. Now they're trying to justify bringing them into schools. Influencing educational settings, therapeutic settings. This is why we bring them into schools. Schools, they're coming out and saying it. Schools and therapy program are increasingly, I told y'all this is what they're doing. I told y'all. Wow. Schools and therapy programs are increasingly incorporating animal-assisted interventions to support emotional regulation. Yeah, making people scared and dumb. They get scared, their heart rate increase, and then it's time to pretend that it's harmless. Time to pretend that it's affectionate when it's not. Time to do all this pretending and being fake. That don't regulate your emotion. And it does not decrease anxiety. Again, prove that with blood pressure tests that everybody can see, and not a blood pressure machine that you doctored. And worst of all, they said it motivates learning for youngsters who face challenges such as, oh my goodness, they distract you from learning. The only thing they're learning is to pretend that something that's dangerous and deadly is harmless. This creature that attacks them over half the time it attacks people, period, they're learning to pretend that they're actually harmless. That's what they're learning. And that's what they shouldn't be learning. And that's why they should be removed. Period. There's no need to even talk about nothing else. Wow. And notice how all of their science ain't nothing but stuff they assume. Everything. Every single thing. Every single thing they mention is something that they assume and can't prove. There's not a single study that proves that they're more motivated to learn. That's something you say. Oh, now there's more motivation. Shut up, nutter. The presence of a friendly dog can create a calming atmosphere. Again, prove it with blood pressure, public blood pressure tests. Because if their blood rate increases, you failed and lied. You failed and lied. And I guarantee you, you're going to fail. Stop lying. They don't create no calming atmosphere. People get more excited. Even when they're rubbing on it, they're getting more excited. That's not calming. They were sitting all in their desks. Now they jumping up, excited, playing. Don't tell me they're calm now, you dumb nutter. They're excited. They're doing something other than listening to you babble about math. We've been to school. Who you talking to? We all remember school. When it was time to focus on anything other than school curriculum, we was happy and excited. Jump out of the desk, fall flat on our face doing it. Yeah, let's get up out of here. Shut up, teacher. We're tired of hearing you babble. It's time to go play. Recess was always the funnest part of the day. And gym, this is what I'm talking about. Obviously false science that y'all should be like prosecuted for putting out stuff like this. Obvious lies. Encouraging focus and reducing stress in academic settings. You know how big of a distraction a dog would be in the class in the classroom? You're focused, you got numbers and stuff going through your head. You're trying to recollect history and figures. Suddenly here's a dumb dog. You pretend to be a nutter, pretend that it's affectionate, right? Pretend that it's harmless for a few minutes. Suddenly you forgot what you was thinking about. What are you saying? That, oh, now your brain is more powerful after you interacted with the dog. So when you go back to doing your work, oh, you'll do a better job. Shut up, nutters. This is a bunch of lies, people. Lies. Flat out. Y'all ain't proved nothing with no scientific study. I put it under a microscope. Oh, the saliva says they're more relaxed. Shut up. As evidence of the benefits continues to mount. Listen to that. Educators and healthcare professionals might advocate for more widespread integrate. There you go. There you go. This is why they're in grocery stores, people. If they belong in all these other places where they were not before and nobody thought that they even belonged there, they're going to be in grocery stores more often and everywhere we go. The plan is for this to be worse, a lot worse than it is now, to be as close to a third world country where dogs are everywhere as possible without there being a bunch of strays on the street. But every building you enter into is full of dogs. They want everywhere to be a nutter space. Boy, this is sick. It's so primitive. Wow. But you see the target audience. You see the target audience. The main targets are not adults. Emotional regulation, decrease anxiety, motivate learning for youngsters who face, evidence continues to mount. Educators, this could be a way for youngsters to thrive both academically and emotionally through playful and nurturing relationships with dogs. No. According to the current statistics, about 7,000 of these youngsters have to go to hospital because they're attacked by a dog every single day in the U.S. And your statistics are badly outdated. They need to be tripled, quadrupled, or more. You understand that? Multiply 7,000 by 3 to 4 to get the real statistics. That's every day. The attack, the injury is bad enough, they have to go to hospital. They don't necessarily need emergency care treatment. Speaking of emergency care treatment, that's over 1,000 a day. Every day. Over 1,000 of them need emergency care treatment. Playful, nurturing relationship. Boy, y'all, these are lunatics we're dealing with. This is just what it is. These are lunatics. Wow. Look, adult supervision is needed. Why? Because it's a deadly creature? What the adult gonna do? Look at this. There's a catch though. It's crucial to monitor these canine youngster interactions to ensure a fun and safe playtime. Remember, not all dog breeds may be suited for play with youngsters, and not all youngsters may understand the nuances of interacting with dogs. Boy, you cannot make this up. Yeah, the youngster is most likely dealing with a highly drugged up dog that's not even behaving like a normal dog. Y'all drug them up like that because they are the number one victim of dog attacks. Bring them into schools, on TV, you drug them up, and you show the youngsters a false dog, a fake behaving dog. Some of those dogs so drugged up they fall asleep. Because they say a tired dog is a safe dog. Dog don't have the energy to launch an attack. It's a greater chance it's just going to stand there. They go beyond the dog just being tired and drug them up. They say that dogs take it as a threat when you look them directly in the eye. And what y'all do, you bring those dogs into these schools and you allow and instruct them to do just that. They tell you not to hug dogs, that you increase chance of being attacked. The dogs don't like it. They feel like they feel claustrophobic. And y'all allow and instruct them to do exactly that. That's what you're doing. You're teaching them to do things to maximize chances that they eventually get attacked. You don't even have to admit to that. That's proven. That's what you do. There's several thousands of videos out there of y'all doing them. Y'all actually dumb enough. Y'all been recording these sessions where you bring these dogs in these schools and everybody sees what you're doing. I'm just telling you what's on video. You don't believe me? Go look at them. They tell you dogs don't like to be petted on top of the head. You allow and instruct them to do exactly that. Get in the dog's face. You allow and instruct them to do that. Look at this. A watchful adult eye is necessary, especially when it comes to infants and toddlers who are more vulnerable. So they're suggesting dogs to help calm down infants and toddlers? Oh, make it stop. This y'all scientists? This is y'all scientists? Supposed to be the smartest people among you? This is not my scientist. You ain't no scientist of mine talking like this. A watchful eye on who? The dog that's going to interpret them as a meal or something to delete or attack just for fun, which is what dogs do. That's what you're supposed to be looking out for. Whether the dog will just snap like they always do. Even dog lovers, they know a good percentage of dogs snap and attack for no reason. But they point out that the younger you are, the more vulnerable you are. And the direct quote says, youngsters and dogs should not be left alone together without adult supervision. That comes from the Blue Cross. And my response to that is the attack will happen even if the adult is there. According to y'all statistics, most youngsters are attacked while an adult is present. We've heard it in several reports, seen it on several videos. So what are you talking about? Y'all talking as if the adult can stop the attack, can prevent it from happening before it happens. No, they can't, and they never do. So what you talking about? These are lunatics. Y'all should not have so much authority and influence in society talking like this. That's just what it is. Ultimately, though, the science speaks for itself. Listen to this. Our lovable, loyal, four-legged companions could be the key to enhancing our youngsters' emotional well-being, providing us with yet another reason to cherish our cuddly... Wow. And just ignore the physical threat, right? You're just supposed to ignore that, right? Here, this dogs surpass everything else. Inflict the worst damage. These dog attacks are ridiculous. And they're out here talking like this. Now, this is a mirrored article that several media outlets published. But what I want y'all to look at, y'all see these links? See these links that they put throughout here, this article? If you click on this one, See where it says scientists have observed higher concentrations of oxytocin in youngsters following engagement with dogs. Click that. Did you hear the sentence? Scientists have observed a higher concentration of oxytocin in youngsters after those youngsters physically interact with dogs, as compared to when youngsters played alone. This is a lie. But if you click that link, this pops up. You remember how they say dogs take it as a challenge when you look them dead in the eye? That's exactly what they're saying is scientifically proven to benefit the youngsters. Dog and human brains sync up during eye contact. Watch how dogs behave when they challenge each other. They walk right up to the other dog and do just like this. And that's exactly what they're saying youngsters need to start doing more often. Oh, y'all think I'm crazy when I talk about how they're trying to encourage these attacks. They are, whether you think they're intentionally trying to do it or not. That's irrelevant, even according to the reckless endangerment laws. It don't matter if that's your intent. Functionally, that's what you're doing. Is that true or not? They're teaching the youngsters start doing more of the exact things that their behaviors have said triggers an attack. We need more eye contact. Look them right in the eye. And at the same time, they share other information and suggestions saying that you don't look the dog in the eye. Aggressive dog run up to you. Hey, don't look it in the eye now. Why? You saying it triggers oxytocin and makes them feel loving? Seem like looking them in the eye is the exact thing you should do, right? It's going to calm them down, right? Maybe the cop in Davenport should have tried that, right? Wow. And this narrative is coming from multiple media outlets. And this is exactly why I don't fear telling the truth. Y'all's reluctance to tell the truth makes you vulnerable. It makes your credibility as a writer, science writer, whatever you are, it threatens it. Don't try to tell me y'all a bunch of experts or even sensible writers, journalists. Why would you publish something like this under your name? Just full of endangerment. This is nothing but sick occult sacrifices that they're weaving into science. Oh, this is more Baal worship. Is it Baal? This is more of that. Moloch. This is rooted, I suspect, this is rooted in their admiration and worship of those types of deities. Oh, yes. They have been involved in sacrifice for a long time. Oh, yes. I don't know why. It's just been a thing to delete youngsters and target them for harm. There's even a lot of like nursery rhymes and stuff about eating them and, oh yeah, putting them in pies and Hansel and Gretel, ain't that what that about? Luring some youngsters in and fattening them up, so you can put them in a pie and eat them. What kind of story is that? I don't want no child pie. I don't want to hear about no story about it either. This stuff with what are you talking about, man? This is shocking stuff, if you ask. And this was also published not long ago. Trying to encourage youngsters to test and control. Oh, stop. Say, oh, the brain regions. Stop it. The human dog brain sync up. No. They're trying to scientifically justify doing the exact same thing that dogs interpret as a threat and do all the time when they challenge other dogs. They walk right up to them and stick there. They look right at them. Eye contact is not what you're supposed to be going around doing with no dogs, regardless of your age. But definitely not youngsters. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all got brain damage. All of you. Grassroots young people, y'all got to stop being intimidated by these people who call themselves scientists. These are a bunch of idiots who specialize in lying and making stuff up. And it's usually for some sick, sinister reasons. Get out of here. How long is it going to take for media, mainstream media, to talk like I'm talking? That'll never happen. Boy, in dog culture, I think proves that there's a bunch of sinister agendas and minds governing the world. Shame on y'all. Each and every one of you, each and every one of these media outlets, shame on you all. Now, as y'all see, I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of material to create, so I'm going to leave this there. If any of you journalists, media outlets, got a problem with anything I said, share your complaint in the comment section. But I'm telling you now, this is so embarrassing. I'm telling you now, don't expect a good outcome for yourselves. Just on an interactive debate level. I don't care what y'all say. It's gonna sound nutty. Y'all's talking points sound like something that comes from dope fiends. I'm dead serious. The arguments y'all put together and call science sound like something that would come from a crackhead, a meth head, coke, anything hard. It don't even make logical sense. But y'all co-signing with it anyways. If there's one so-called animal that will increase your blood pressure, your heart rate when they come around, it's dogs. Y'all know it. A rabbit come around, nobody's getting excited. Other animals come around, those are the ones that's truly therapeutic. To see them, hear them, and all. Nobody's getting nervous. These dumb dogs come and make them nervous. Make everybody nervous. So beat it with your science, your so-called science. Nobody's buying it. Shout out to all of you able to join me. And I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.